Right. Hello. 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 Sorry about that. Kip's back. I'm trying to juggle multiple things all at one time. Um, such is life. They made it all back in one piece. Melissa's sick though, unfortunately. Of course, timeline wise, or time zone wise, they're all scrambled. Kip actually went to sleep early. Of course, he was up early. Now he's trying to. Yeah. Sound good, fire bad. Oh no, no, no. Yeah, yeah, not fun. No, not here. But maybe he's got an extension cord now, and so if you guys remember MacGyver, he's kind of like MacGyvering things. He now has like one of those like it's a power strip, like a I don't know 3 foot cord on it power strip. Um, he's got a power strip, a lacrosse head, and it appears a small container. So I'm not exactly sure what he's building over there at this point. It could be any number of things, right? I don't know. So we'll see. Um, oh, so yeah. Um, coughing more today, right? Health update there. I'm coughing more today. It's not fun. Um, I can swallow, right? I can swallow, but and I was able to eat, right? But the coughing thing's obnoxious, so we'll see. Anyway, I'm gonna apologize right off the bat if I cough. I'll try to do a cough drop in. Hopefully, I don't cough too much in the microphone, but we'll see. Anyway, as far as movement goes, we have some dollar strength rolling back into the markets. We were seeing that yesterday. We saw a little bit of a pullback, and we talked about how there could be a surge going up, and we kind of expected dollar strength to maintain and hold till the end of the week. Um, pound pound data actually was kind of crazy. There was actually a revision, so it was a double double negative. We were calling for pound strength coming in as the market was going to prepare, but unfortunately, not only were they off last time, they were off this time. And again, it's a double double, so some of this has to do with wow, Ford revealed this came through. Ford reveals 800 horsepower Mustang with $300,000 price tag. Right? Yeah, there's no such thing as inflation in cars, right? In autos. Um, so it was a double double. It's pretty bad for the pound. Overall, though, in kind of like a top level down, even though this data was, I mean, again, it was expected to be negative, and we said, hey, listen, expected negative, it comes in negative, great. Euro pound -8 pips is not really a big deal, right? It's not really a big deal. Pound yen wise, again, -90 pips. It's kind of coming back. It's been green in the last hour. That could be much much worse for such a big number. Um, Looking on the pound dollar side of things, down 47. It's not bad, right? I mean, we're talking about 100 pip, 150 pip. Not it's not 150 now. It's probably I think it's 100 to 130 now. It's only down 50 pips. It's not that bad. And again, kind of coming back in the last 60 minutes. So overall, it could be much much worse than what it is. For the most part, I mean, the pound dollar and euro dollar, they're pretty much in line with each other, right? And that's the dollar influence, right? So, yeah, not really. Again, if this was U.S. retail sales on a monthly basis and it missed by this much, yeah, only three. It's a steal, Neuro. It's a steal, right? 800 horsepower, right? Divide that 800. How much you paying per horse, right? Right? It's a GTD, right? And here's the funny thing too. It's $300,000, but it's not even going to be available until 2024, late 2024, early 2025 at a starting point, right? At a minimum, right? I don't know why. I mean, I feel like this: if you're going to spend $300,000, like 800 horsepower is great, but with the electric, I mean, how much does the electric, some of those new electric BMW, like the full send. I mean, heck, if they can get an H2 to go 0 to 60 in 3 seconds, it's an 800 horsepower Mustang. Is that going to be better? Where would you use it? I don't know, middle of the country, probably. Yeah. I mean, it's the same thing. Like, do you want an H2 to go 0 to 60 in 3 seconds? What do you do with it once it hits, once it gets to 60, once it gets that fast in 3 seconds, what do you do with then? Right? I mean, God forbid anybody who hit in the first 3 seconds, right? Um, But that's the thing, $300,000. It's like, I don't know. Do you spend $300,000 on an 800 horsepower standard car, or do you just? I mean, what does $300,000 buy in the electric world, right? I feel like you can get, you know, faster things, more exotic things than a 300,000. I don't know. I mean, maybe you're the guy that likes to be like, yeah, I paid more than anybody did for that thing. I paid the most. I mean, I guess some people are like that, so we'll see. Anyway, so that's it for today as far as news goes. Even if you look at it on a kind of lower spectrum today, um, everything's out. All the CAD data is out as well. All the CAD data was pretty good. And again, that's why you're seeing this one in the last hour, heading to the downside, as far as dollar CAD goes. With that strength coming in, but that's it. There's nothing really else there. There's no major meetings today. We shouldn't see anything else going on. Saturday, nothing. Sunday, late, we have Chinese data coming in, and we know that China's still doing some selling. Um, Annual inflation down. I love it. Down to 5.3. So it's still 2.5 times, right? Still 2.5 times. Yeah. Um, yeah. 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 So not much. And then obviously Monday, nothing out there. And actually, I think Monday we do actually have some lower, yeah, some smaller stuff. Core, final and core. I'm sorry, the final core and overall CPI, just kind of confirming that that's what it was. Shouldn't be too big of a mover. Retail sales. Oops. Why did it switch back on me there? Here you go. You're in CAD date on Monday, so not a whole lot there either. All right. So again, this is late summer vacation time. Kids going back to school. I know my sister's kids in Austin, Texas, started yesterday. Um, Again, kind of fun, right? Heading back to school. She's excited. It was like a party for her yesterday. She's like, "Yep, they're finally back in school." Mine still have a few weeks here, but Texas goes back early, but then they're done like the end of May. So, yeah, yeah. Overall, let's just dive right in the charts. VIX obviously continuing to creep higher. And I think a lot of this right now, again, you can see all the indices are pretty deep in the red. The best one is, 0.17 down, 0.27 down, zero point 0.9, zero point 0.5. I think that a lot of this creep is understanding that where we are right now, again, it's probably more than likely that the Fed is going to raise interest rates again. And I think a lot of people thought that that was it. We were done. Again, all the recession calls just not there, right? The recession stuff is not there. Yeah, not necessarily surprising where we are. Now we are sitting back up at that 18 mark. Is it justified to be up here at the 18, 19? Is there that much concern, that much worry? I think the reality is no. I do think it is a little bit high right now. Remember, VIX, there's not a warehouse with VIX. We're not eating it. We're not selling it. We're not watching it. It's just kind of a gauge of something else. It's a proxy. So, again, up 4%. I think a lot of that is just the negativity in the overall indices and market. And again, I think I don't know that it's 100% justified to be, continuing to push down. Again, we've proven that the spender is there, and the spender is what drives a lot of these things. Yeah, we can raise interest rates again, but so far we've been pretty resilient. I don't know that if they raise 0.25 one more time, if that's the straw that breaks the camel's back, and that's it, right? Yeah, there. Yeah, what happened? Okay. I heard him whining, and I was like, I can't see him. He's whining. He's trying to get through the gate. He can't get through. So I don't think it necessarily is a big deal. You can see again the dollar back up there. We talked about finding those buyers yesterday. It pulled back up, ended up grabbing that same group around 3, 4 o'clock, pushed back down again, and then again 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it punched through, and we're kind of sitting high. So again, 103.50, I think is rather high. Again, we mentioned yesterday that we expected this to continue to push up until the end of the week, and then maybe Sunday night start to roll back down again as that profit taking comes in. But I can't do it now. I can't, buds. We already ate once. Yes, I understand. We already ate once. Here, you want the turtle? Here, go. Um, so it's kind of playing out like we expected. Right now, you're seeing again since that eight o'clock time frame, you're seeing it kind of pull back a little bit as profit taking from the European sessions coming in. There's a few, and again, step here, step here, step here, step here, and then obviously the buyer stack back down again. Um, Yeah, yeah. Again, I think nothing has really changed from yesterday. I think we're still looking for the roll. As far as the commodities go, oil's holding above that 80 mark. It is down just, I mean, a smidge, right? minus 0.07 right now. So it's down a little bit. Natural gas down more, down 1.3%, which I think is great. Down below at 258 or 258.8. Kind of at that 259 point. I think that's in a good spot. Gold up just a smidge, silver almost at the exact same point. Up point two, up. Here we go. Now they're moving around a little bit. Up 0.19, up 0.12, but it keeps fluctuating back and forth. I think gold is exactly where it should be, the 1892. Again, holding about $8 below, $7 below that 2000 mark, and then silver the 2271. So, um, yeah, I think I think that's all. That all makes sense. Nothing really kind of out of the ordinary there. As far as this one goes, this is the position we put on yesterday, where we talked about being up in that position yesterday, and we had that trigger right around that 830 part. Eventually it did. It made it all the way down to the 1 to 3. It was 21 pips and then 65 in the other direction. It came back down and it literally got at 8 o'clock this morning. So very slow position to finally, again, we talked about being backstopped by the 23.6, a nice little base area in there, push down a little test right there. And again, with news kind of coming in, it's out now. I think it makes sense, looking at kind of where the basing occurred down here. Again, there's your confirmation touch of it. So it did what it was supposed to do. It hasn't breached very far in either of these two instances. So is this the true bottom? I think I think we kind of smacked around. I mean, we know that based off what we saw yesterday, the Aussie dollar and Aussie yen both kind of were selling opportunities. Um, is there is there enough catalyst out there right now to really be blowing through levels? I don't know. I think it's more. It's. I think right now it's more speculation than is anything else. I think this level holds for a little while longer, and we know this is quite far down here. You can scroll back on the 30 and be like, wow, there's nothing down here. When we look back to see where price was, this is where we're playing right now, right? We're playing with this zone right here. Looking to the left, we know we don't have a lot until we get all the way down to 63.47. But this was a nice push off, and that's kind of what we're dealing with, right up in this area. So we know we got some movement here. I think this is probably a decent bottom. Is this an area where we're willing to take a long off of it? I don't know. This is kind of Friday trading, right? What do you mean by that is typically we don't automatically reverse a trade once they come in. As this comes down, I mean, if this pushes back down again, could it be a long opportunity? Sure, it could, but it's Friday. Volume's going to run out, right? Obviously, again, the Australian market is already closed, so there's not a whole lot more data, there. Maybe we'll get some more. I mean, again, you can see safe haven dollar hovers around 2-month high on China woes, right? Rates higher, which again, I think rates will go higher, but I'm not getting any more news out of China at this point. I'm not getting anything out of Australia. We'll get some dollar news in there, right? But again, pulls back down, pull back down again, find those buyers, push. Can we get out of that by 5 today? Yeah, I don't know, right? Don't know. Again, this though is the narrative that we talked about yesterday. Again, massive dollar strength, and then again, maybe on the weekend is when we start to see everything kind of retrace back to normalcy again. So it's there. If this one does go all the way back up again, it's kind of Friday. Wouldn't be surprised if we bounce around a little bit. I don't think it's going to be smooth sailing. And for me, I really want to see the dollar weakness come back in on Sunday night, not today. I'd rather it not start today. I'd rather it start next week. Makes a swing trade easier, right? Than all of a sudden trying to scalp it today, right? All in one. Also, again, as you can see, that yesterday we were sitting right here, right? We talked about maybe being a little bit deep into this one already, ready to push down. It did give us a little bit of a pullback and then just continued to deteriorate all the way down. And we talked about two levels. The profit target was 92,780, right? 92,788. The low was 92,792, right? So I missed it by zero point 0.5 of a pip, right? 0.5 of a pip. Not too bad, and you can see it kind of chop back and forth all the way through. So it's a decent mover now. Did exactly what we thought it would do yesterday from that level. We talked about it being backstopped by the 61.8. It was a little bit late in there. It did give us a pullback, so you did have some ability to get in. You can see it sliced right through and actually gave us a second Harry Potter, right? We knew that there'd be buyers sitting right in there, and what did it do? It smashed through them like they didn't even exist, and then kind of came back up and hit them, and then continued farther. So There was actually an additional Harry Potter trade, an additional short on that one. That was a big runner, about 114 pips to the downside. So nice one, right? Nice one. Trying to think, what we do it now? Again, it's just profit taking coming in. Such a big mover into an area of buyers that were there. Plus, it was a 78. Again, I don't care about the 78. Um, but this is what we're looking at right here. Right. Actually, wondering at this point. Again, this is the most recent high to low, so people are going to be looking at this. 23.6 level. I'm not concerned about. I am curious. Let's see. Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. Looking at this, like the last big push. So, like, I mean, you may wonder why I'm using this. Well, once we went here and we started breaking zones, it gave us a new trend. Well, once this started breaking up again, green, red, green. We started forming kind of almost new levels. Kind of a again, you could say it was channeling, right? There could be an argument made. Oh, we're just in the channel, right? We're going from the bottom to the top of the channel, back and forth. But if you look at really like the big push from yesterday morning till today, right? Because this is getting higher highs. I mean, everybody knows the higher highs, higher lows, that kind of stuff. There was obviously higher highs, higher lows in here, right? If this is the current trend piece now, look at this level of basing. See how this pulls up and then boom, it kind of had an acceleration off. It's also wedged between the 50 and 61.8, right? It's also sitting right there. So I'm wondering if there's going to be a kind of a short position here. Um, it's only about 13 pips, so it's not very long. Let's make sure that this is red. Hmm. So it's got to go 35 pips. It's got a 4 hour ATR of 39. So it's got to kind of go a little bit farther than. Problem is, do you want to take this one short at 2 o'clock in the afternoon? You know, not really. Not on a Friday, right? Not a bad level, right? Not a bad level. You know, I don't know if this one lasts through the weekend, but I do feel that there could be. And again, I know that there are brokerages and your own accounts. You can do whatever you want, and a lot of the funded programs that there are now funded programs that let you hold over the weekend. I don't ever think the risk is justified to be able to take those positions. Um, Anything could happen, and it could turn bad really, really fast. So, my personal opinion is those are not viable things that you could trade. That you should be doing. Right? I know people do all the time. Sure, right, but again, some really bad stuff can happen on the weekend, and you have absolutely zero control. You can't do a single thing, right, to be able to protect yourself. You're basically removing your control, right? Um, I'm wondering if we can get this on Sunday night. This would be a decent trade. And like I said, I'd rather this one come up and hit at 3 o'clock in the afternoon and then come down and be like, oh, you know what? You could have snuck it in between 2 and 5. I'd rather miss that trade than get into it, be a little bit into profit, and then all of a sudden something happens with China or Japan or something like that. And next thing you know, it's all the way up here. And not only did you lose it, but the sucker gapped all the way over here. Right. Just, it's a lot of risk that I think is, pretty much unnecessary. But I think this 93.42, um, actually 93.44, go to 93.44.5. Not a bad little level, right? One candle top, nice push off. Last push, it's wedged there. If it doesn't turn and push any lower. So, a couple ifs, but I think overall it's not bad. Euro dollar. So let's see. I said 108.37. It came to 108.45. So I missed this one by 8 pips. If it's done. We can adjust these down. You can see yesterday we were sitting right here at 9:30. We talked about, hey, listen, it's a double top level. It was already a little bit deep when we were talking. It already pushed down a little bit. And it did the same thing. We said we liked the Aussie. This is the same trade as the Aussie. It did. It pushed all the way back down again, was a nice runner. Pushed about 50 pips to the downside. So again, was able to kind of get that 1 to 3 in the other direction. Right now, probably the same thing. This is probably again dollar profit taking. That's why we're seeing it pull back up again. We know there's nothing, earth shatteringly special about what we saw in the euro. Um, I don't think the 23 is going to be much. There is a base there with a little confirmation. I do kind of like this zone better. Oops. Just trying to extend it and the whole thing with. Yeah, I don't love this zone. Not for Friday. 5. Oh, come winter. If we can get a short right there, or maybe even something where we open here, go up, and then goes down. Right? Maybe something along those lines. Right? I'm wondering if we can get that on a Sunday night trade. If we don't smash it today, and we could, I mean, technically we could for our, ATR wise, we absolutely could. We could hit that, right? It's possible we hit and start to push back down again. I don't know that we can get a 1 to 3 off of it. Overall, it's about 13 pips. So again, it's not a bad trade. I'm wondering if we could potentially get that on a Sunday night. And again, kind of goes counter to what we're talking about. We're not really talking about dollar strength going in, but again, if we're unable to breach it and then we do jump higher, um, again, one pop, this could be an easy kind of run down, and then maybe U.S. session is where we start to see kind of a little bit more of a release, right, when the U.S. trader comes online. I like that zone. So this is one of those weird ones, right? Again, I mean, Friday after 11, I think is, you're playing with fire anyway. This is one of those ones, and I'm kind of wondering. I kind of want to know, right? And again, I'm going to change this into a black dotted line, right? I'd like to know, and again, this is not an alert to buy or sell. It's an alert to say, okay, listen, I want to know, does it hit today, right? Again, I'm not going to sit there and watch this like it's a normal day, but if it comes up and hits it, I kind of like to know, right? Where are we at? And then, once we start over the weekend, this is one of those ones. If we do kind of don't hit it today, and we're sitting over in here somewhere, it'd be nice to know if we were able to breach it on Sunday night. You know, um, I think that's a pretty decent one for a Sunday night base trade, right? I like the zone. I like the confirmation. I like how the 3 weeks kind of went down here. I wish it was, obviously I wish it was a 50 or a 30, 23.6, but it's not, right? So the reality is it's not. It's a decent zone. It's confirmed once, had a pretty nice response off of it. So, could be a potential trade setup for Sunday. Euro pound. So we were talking about euro pound coming back up and getting for news. We were talking about it going up and then taking the short. You can see, I mean, the overall kind of push from where the news came out is now down. So that's what we were looking for. It just didn't go quite as high as we were looking for. But we were talking about, again, price rallying up and then coming down. It just started here and not here. So overall, would you have wanted to trade this one news wise? Remember, this one only has a daily ATR of 44 pips total. It's got a 4 hour ATR of 14. You could have looked at this and said, well, wait a second. We've kind of pushed up. We're not quite where we want to be, but there is a zone right there. Yeah, you could have taken that one. The problem with this is that zone is 6.3 pips. It's got a spread of 1.2 anyway, so it's kind of minor. But as you can see, it would have pushed down. The 1 to 3 would have worked. There's buyers over here, and that's what we're kind of running into right now. Funny, horrible pound data, but yet magically this one is down, right? Right. Um, so there is like I don't know if there's one. It's just one or there's two. There's a fruit fly in the room, right? When they left, Jin had an orange peel in her room, and for some reason, the fruit something happened. They found it, right? I opened the door. I found the orange peel, and I was like, oh god, there's two fruit flies next to it, right? And now there's a fruit fly in my room. Like, come on. Um, so yeah. So with this sideways movement, there was a small trade in there. There's not much you can do right now. Obviously, we have buyers kind of sitting in here. Very, very slow. Again, this is more like this, just so everybody understands. It's not this looks really fun. It's more like this. Again, 43 pip daily ATR total, right? Not even moving 2 pips and moving a what are we moving? 2 pips an hour. So nothing explosive. Both these markets are going to close in the next 2 hours. So again, not a whole lot in this one. Over where we are in this, I do think actually the UK is in a better position. Again, one nation versus a whole bunch of nations. Um, until obviously the entire Ukraine situation is over with. I think Europe will always kind of be a little bit behind with what they can do. I'm waiting for some totals. I just saw another thing that said, who was it? Sweden just sent like another $550 million worth of aid or something like that. So their totals up to like one. Like I would love to know how many $1 billion worth of aid has already been sent into the Ukraine. Um, some of the totals are like staggering. It's like my God. You know, like I get it. Russia doesn't own Ukraine, but man, at what has been the cost total for the amount of aid that has been delivered there? Like a small country like Sweden, just they're like, oh, we're gonna send a whole bunch more ammunition, another $550 million influx. I was like, it's like really, Sweden's given $1.5 billion already. Um, it's just amazing the cost, right? The cost that has gone into that whole thing. But anyway, that's where we're at here. Euro yen again continue to creep down. We actually talked about getting a potential buy off this, and we said, hey, listen, it's barely breached. It was good here. You can see about 3 o'clock in the afternoon yesterday, it did come down and it kind of grazed it. It got front run and kind of pushed back up. Actually, wouldn't be surprised if that was a 23.6. Actually, it was a little bit deep on the 23.6, but yeah, enough of a basing level. It's like, oh yeah, come on, hit it again, right? And it hit it and it hit it, and then kind of came up. It's like, all right, listen, there's 2 additional hits. We're at 5 right now, and then what did it do? It started forming a base and pulled back again. So this one is just grinding. Yesterday we talked about getting some additional help from the yen. Um, we've kind of gotten it now. It is pushing back down again. We had a position. This is an old one. We can take that off now. Let's pull that. Yep, I know it's an old alert. So there was a run here. Wasn't a major run. Again, it kind of used it as a Harry Potter, but we can kind of pull it just to keep it clean. Again, this was that old level we were talking about. What was I trying to do? Oh, I was like, wait a second. It was the run from here to there. Okay. So right now, I would say there is a bit of basing happening right here. The last again, way too much time here. The last big push is going to be hovered right here, which is right around the 50. I think right now, if you guys are short this position, I think right now this is what we're looking to target. Is this a place to go long? That remains to be seen. Again, less than 2 hours. I think right now this is your target. If you're short, look for 157. Actually, this would be green and black. 157. Right there. Okay. I think that's the target. I think it's going to have a little bit of problems. It's only about 35 pips. I don't think this is a major mover from now till then. I'd like to see where this one starts, if there's a gap up or down on Sunday night. There's just a lot to be said about this one right now. It's grindy, but is this European grind or is this yen grind? And I feel like right now, this is more yen grind than anything else for right now. All right. Pound dollar. All right. So pound dollar. Yesterday we talked about, again, funny. We were talking about being low, taking a high. This one remained high and then ended up punching down. So we knew that there was going to be some movement, and there was. Not really an area where you would have taken news. Again, we're looking for a potential profit target down here, and you can see it kind of came in, found, and actually my drawing's way off of this one. It's like, whoa. Like, I don't know why I would have it here. Like, oh yeah. Like, no. There's the bottom. There's the move. There's the most tops. There's the pop. There's a confirmation. There you go. I don't think this one hit a 1 to 3. I don't think we're quite there yet. Um, Yeah. And where it's turning actually, I'd have to agree with it, right? I have to say, listen, there's going to be sellers stepping in right there, right? They've already shown us before. They've turned this around, descending wicks, and you can see it went a little bit higher. It didn't actually breach that initial zone, but it's actually turning where it should have. So this is one of those ones we probably should have taken the profit off a little bit early. Um, and again, came with that 8:30 news today, so kind of makes sense overall. I mean, the grand scheme of things, we are channeling sideways. Um, Yeah, I would say I like the reversal from here, from this level. Again, not for a trade because you would have already been in the trade long. Um, it's down to 97 right now. Hey, look, it's already absorbed back to 23. Honestly, this is one of those ones. If you guys got long, sell your stop or just take it out. Right? This was a 50 pip mover for 16 risk. Um, yeah, typically want to take things off early, but this was up to like 46 pips out of the proposed 49 or 50 that you're looking for. You basically, you risked 47 pips or 45 pips for five. Just take it out early. This is where it should see pressure here pushing back down. Um, yeah, as far as what's next on this one, things I'm looking for, I really need this to kind of get out of this channel, right? I mean, we've really been in this channel since last Thursday, right? We had one spike down, but we've basically been in the same channel the entire time. I think we're gonna have a hard time with that too. See, this is kind of where we're boxed in right now. Even for Sunday, I don't really love the sad thing about this one is 97 pip ATR is one of the bigger ones right now. It's nice. Moving 40 pips in a 4 hour time frame. Um, it's so stuck in a channel right now, right? And again, high and low, we got some testing top and some stuff down below. But right now, problem is it's consolidating in, right? You got all this, all buying, 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 and then we turned off of it. Top side, again, we got two small levels there. We got to break through them. And then right above that, there's just kind of a touch with a big candle. So we can't even really necessarily draw um a touch there. Um I wish I could give you more on this one. There's just not much in this one that I'm really like. I'm trying to think of different scenarios, and I just can't come up with anything that I'm really like. Yeah, that's good. Like, nope, not so much. So it's hard. Got to break through really until 128.18 or 128.19. Just make it 19, and then 126.06 down below. Really, for me, I needed to clear. I know this is a bigger channel than what's going, but that's what I need to see. Pound yen. Again, there's pound yen yesterday. Actually, it looks like from where we were yesterday, it did come up. We talked about that level, and this is one of the ones it did not breach the top. It actually ended up getting out, hit about 10 o'clock last night, got out. That was a 22 for 66. So that was kind of finding that peak from yesterday. And now it's really came back and just stabilized itself. And again, there are buyers here, and that's what we're chopping into. I think overall in the short for this one, I'd really like to see this one come back down to 183.60. That's what kind of we talked about as our overall target in that short. But again, you can see the trade from yesterday morning when we drew it. It's there. It pushed down. It had a nice runner from like that 12 o'clock or that 1 o'clock time frame to push it down. So, um, and again, look at the base right there. So it kind of hit, and it's kind of finding exactly. Yeah, you know what? It's probably hitting the 23.60 now too. Let me see, right? Yeah. Yeah, I like this one short. My opinion would be short on there. There is levels of basing here. We did come up and push it. It didn't go quite as deep, but some of that was it has to do with news. If this starts to deteriorate, again, I think we probably just slowly grind all the way back through. But until 183.60, not interested. This one would be interesting to look at next week. Again, there's not going to be enough catalyst today really for any trade, so it'll be more of a Monday reset. Um, Now this guy, this is we're talking about kind of maintaining, and we knew we were close yesterday, and we wanted to see where this one opened up on Sunday night. Now this morning, early 6:30, we did actually punch through, and we should have, right? There was a top, there's another hit, there's another hit, there's another hit, there's another hit. It's like okay, there's no sellers left, so it did finally push and break all the way through the top side. Um, it's up. I would say adjust this a little bit higher, but I think we're still looking for overall shorts in this one. Um, Again, oil helping us a little bit right now with this one. Again, we're up at 80. We'll see if we can hold and maintain. I think going into Monday morning, oil will be more of a long versus Sunday night. So I don't know if we're going to get too much more, but kind of the opinion is the same. You can see that the 23.6 is still a little bit lower. Again, that's really where all the confirmations are coming in. The old level at 135 flat. We know 135 is going to be a big deal, right? We know it's going to be a big deal sideways. But yeah, I would say that's probably a decent target right now. But where we are high, do we want to pull the trigger here? Mm, I don't really love the level. Again, until the day's over, I think we still see a little bit of dollar strength pushing back up again. Yeah, gold. We'll do gold in one, two, three, four, five positions. Gold is five more charts in. So, but right now, I like dollar CAD going short into Sunday. Right now, I don't think there's going to be enough time. I think again, 10:30, the push from the open this morning, really from that 8:30 time frame down. This is where we'd see reversal and kind of a push higher. And again, without without, it's all going to depend on if gold or if oil can stay above 80. If it can't stay above 80, I think this one starts to starts to find buyers or at least hold and maintain up high. But again, starting Sunday, like and ideally, I'd like a gap. If we can gap here and then up, I think that would be better, right? If we could wherever we end, if we go low and then hit, then I'd be looking for this to push, right? So again, more of a Sunday night trade. Not going to be as interested in this one today. Dollar Swiss. All right, so dollar Swiss. There was our zone up top. Actually, God, I did this one too. I did it because of the confirmation. We're sitting high again. This one also stepped up with the impulse corrections. Nice little bop here. Came back down, touched it again, hit it. It is starting to reverse. We do have our red. We have our green. As long as it doesn't go as high, we should have a reversal back down. Problem is, this one is also sitting like this. It's only 65 pips in a day, 24 and 4 hours. There is a base here, and you do actually have two touches off this base, and this is kind of just a continuation of this. Here, I'll just drag this one across and bring this one down. You can see we do have two touches. Neither of them are very big pierce. I think right now that's your target to the downside. Look for 87.58 to the down. Can we hit it today? Maybe. Again, it's going to depend. Again, when traders are done trading today, they're going to get rid of their dollar positions. It's been too strong. This one's already reversed a little bit, but again, I think there's probably one more surge due. My thinking on this one is kind of the same as the pound dollar. Way too much sideways movement, right? Way too much basing. I mean, we're still playing in the same base that we were on Monday. We've just been literally going back and forth in the same channel. We need to break it before any really, really good positions. So right now, I would say, yeah, more bearish thinking, but I don't think the dollar is necessarily done yet, unless people are like, hey, 12 o'clock, we out, right? And if that's the case, then we should start seeing the artificial selling coming in a little bit early. So we'll see. It's got a little bit more room to run at the top side, I think. Overall, we have two alerts set on this one, but right now, just channeling sideways. I could stretch out and be like, oh my God, look how much movement. But the reality is it's kind of this, right? Dollar Swiss in 24 hours has moved 28 pips. So a pip an hour is what we're kind of debating right now. And it's literally just going back and forth. And we're kind of on the high side pulling back. So not necessarily the funnest. Now this guy, we did talk about a level coming through. It looks like a Harry Potter actually just initiated. We missed it by just one can or a couple candles. We talked about a base. We pushed it deep yesterday. And yesterday morning, we're sitting here and we said, hey, listen, looking for the break. Love this. Love this. Again, you may have gotten in the position here. If not, This should have been adjusted to there, right? Again, all the base, 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 pulled back, and boom, you got it right here. So right now you're probably in the trade. This one may have been a little bit short, unfortunately. Let's see. I think the 1 to 3 may be getting cut off. One, two, three. Yeah, it's a little bit deep, right? You can see it. It did reverse kind of originally there. It's a little bit deep. This is an easy trail. And again, this is the setup we talked about yesterday. We had the basing. Again, did not explode out of it. Came in, found the base there, pushed it to the brink. It's like, yup, love that. Once this one came down, it pushed us to the same exact point, but it gave us a base right here to be able to draw off of. And then there was your pullback. We almost got in at 4 o'clock this morning, but it looks like news 8 o'clock pumped you in. So um, again, this is another one of those ones. If you're in the trade, it's not bad. It's 19 pips for 57. Looks like right now you are about 38 pips deep in profit on a Friday. Um, what I would say is trail yourself down, lock in, you know, lock in a decent amount of that one. If it does spike up and take you out, oh well. Like I said, there are buyers here. They're confirmed here. They're confirmed here, and they're confirmed here. So again, let it trail. Again, every 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Again, trail it down just a little bit more until you're out. Or if you're happy, again, put yourself at this 1 to 2 mark, and then again, just let it roll. Whether it takes you out in one of the two directions, close it down over the weekend so it doesn't stop back. And obviously gap above where that level is, because that would be the only thing that ruins your profit. But yeah, lock yourself in. I don't think it has a problem coming all the way down. I think for me, 145, I think, is where this one is heading. But obviously, we have some stuff that jumped through, and I think right now the big factor in this one is, again, a little bit of dollar profit taking coming in, but also I think the yen's helping us out a little bit as well. Looking at crude, right? Crude, look at that. Magically, U.S. trader steps in and boom, popped it right off the bottom side. Again, very, very choppy right now. Again, what I like the most in this one is still the 81.81 short. You can see, why is it turning? Why did it pop up and turn around? Well, same thing yesterday. It was a 23.6 short. You can see the 23.6 did not help anybody yesterday. Right? It did pop through and go up. Had a little bit, and again, we talked about obviously this rollover. And interesting enough, normally when you see this contract switch, it pops it up. This one actually popped it down. So kind of funny. We were hoping for the pop up, grab the 81 and push lower. Kind of funny if we draw this. Let me see. There, and then it pushed down. Let's see from where the contracts. It didn't go as high. We were talking about, again. We were looking for the pop up, right? Looking for the pop up. Let's see. So that was basically the pop down would have been there. Oh, that's pretty close though. Look. If there's your gap, right? From there, it brings it back up to the high, but look. So that's what we're looking for. Yeah. So not bad, but I still like, even though everything, all equal, we're still been unable to break the bottom side of that one. The 81.81 is a confirmed level. It is sitting with the 50 right now. So as long as we do not breach the bottom, I think, again, once we work out this gap scenario right here, again, people are like, oh, it's a gap. That's a contract. So it's not really a gap. Once it punches higher, I think, again, there's going to be a small little hiccup here. Ideally, the way I would see this one go is for us to kind of continue to push up today. If we can push up in the rally up again the Sunday night, look for this to kind of hit maybe a rally in the European session up, right? Or maybe actually we pull back in European session, and then again U.S. session we go higher. But I do like this one. Again, being at 80.86, it's got to go almost $2 higher. You know me as a consumer. Ideally, I hope I'm completely wrong, and we wake up on Monday and it's down here at 76. I think that would be great. The station down the street, we drove past it, and it was $4.04 a gallon, and I was like, don't like that. So, which is funny because it was like 370 over here, and now it's $4 cheaper, and it's finally playing catch up, and it's 404. I was like, not interested. So yeah, we'll see. Again, remember this market does close early. It is a commodity, so it will close early on Friday than everything else. You'll still see movement afterwards, but understand that big players are out when it is done. This one continued to push a little bit lower. Right, and you can see we almost got a 23 in there. Yesterday's, and again, natural gas prices down more than 7%. Yesterday, we talked about it, again, using the debate that, hey, listen, those extreme temperatures, the extreme temperatures are not necessarily there. They're kind of waning in most places, so we should see this continue to deteriorate lower. Yesterday morning, we were sitting kind of at the peak right here, right? 9:30, 10 o'clock, and we talked about, again, we had a zone with confirmation, kind of got front run just a little bit at that 10 o'clock mark and pulled back, and really after that, it ran out of steam. It came back and then ended up finally punching through this downside and then came back and touched that same level. And now it's pushed lower. So overall, I would say, again, I think bearish is the way to go with natural gas. You can see it says it's set down 7% on the week. Again, when you have extreme temperatures is one thing, but the extreme temperatures aren't there. And they can keep mentioning it's hot, it's hot, it's hot, it's hot. But reality is some people are looking at this and saying, hey, listen, we're 2 weeks from September fall time. Um, what extreme temperatures this is not the first week of July where it's going to have weeks and weeks and weeks. At this point, I think the demand is starting to deteriorate. So it will be nice when we can start talking about this thing going below 250. It's close. It's close. All right, gold. All right, so gold yesterday looks like 1 o'clock yesterday afternoon. We ended up hitting it. We talked about 1886 was our target slash buy. It is in the white. You can see we kind of came down base and grabbed it. Your green, red, green would have initiated right over in here. Um, Again, a nice run up. I don't think trajectory wise this changed too much. We can run this a little bit farther down. Where it runs, I think that's an okay spot. There's a touch in here. I think this would be more for next week if we can rally back up, and it could be a weekend thing, right? Again, this was a big turning point level. We knew that. Again, you look at it, it's like, wow, that's really wide. Yeah, it was done on a higher time frame because it's been a long time, right? We knew that we had a touch off of it right here. Again, big kind of pullback and explosion, which we love. Again, a little bit bigger distance wise than we like, but we had a confirmation, so we really couldn't ignore it. And that's exactly where the turn came in at. We came down in two candles and just, yesterday afternoon at 1 o'clock, continued to rally up. So from 1886 all the way up to what? 1896, about $10 worth of movement. We got in that one. And it turned exactly where it should have. Look at this, right? It's probably a 50% as well. Whoops. Yeah. Look, wedge between the 50, 61 level of basing sitting right there, right? And that's exactly what we ran into with the push check to the downside. Overall, again, I would say that this probably continues to deteriorate back down at the bottom side. 1886 on Sunday night may actually be a decent trade. Again, if we see that dollar weakness, all the charts are kind of showing us that it looks like kind of Sunday, Monday morning, we should go back in that dollar weakness. That should provide buying opportunity over here. Now, do we take another one off 1886? Like I said, it is commodities. It's only got about 4 hours left to go on this one. Before the main part of this market is closed, it will obviously continue to trade a little bit after that. But for most part, a lot of the volume will get sucked out of gold and silver. Right now, point this out right now. Remember, silver typically does double what gold does. Gold is up 0.14, which is kind of what it was doing when we first started, and silver now is at 0.09 or 0.11, so it's a little bit less. It's an area of sellers. Again, the big question is how much more dollar strength can we get on the plate for today? Will they continue to push it through the end of the day and then reset, or will profit taking come in? And if profit taking comes in, I would assume around noon or 1 o'clock is when we would see that one, which would also kind of give you more of an idea of buying gold. Now, a lot of I think a lot of the emphasis and a lot of the reasons why that we are seeing the red up here in the indices right now, and again, not as bad. Russell's actually in the green a little bit, is the threat of those higher interest rates. Remember, you know, gold is that hedge for inflation. Are we in a pro-inflationary environment? The answer is no. We're trying to destroy inflation right now. So gold doesn't have a major upside, I think, right now. But I will say, I do believe if, God forbid, anybody in the Fed says, yeah, you know what, we're going to hold here. It's working good enough. I think that'd be a great buying opportunity for gold because I do think it will. If we stop now, again, with everything that's going on, with energy prices rising the way that they have been, and again, I say that just as oil clicks under 80. Yeah, I think we have the potential to, again, I think inflation will come back again. I think that's the worst thing that the Fed wants. We've already seen it raise a little bit, and they're like, ta-da, we know why it's doing it. It's still raising. So, yeah, right now for me, again, short market, I would say right now, yeah, leaning more towards the bearish side of things. It did come back, and actually it pulled back down to a base. So, yeah, right now I'd say probably down. Starting the week, though, I think we could have a long gold. Honestly, I think next week, with the lack of news, I think we could have a little bit more of a gold rally next week. Again, dollar index where it is because it's going to trade opposite. You can see, right? We're high, we're peaked, but people are starting to finally like, okay, I need to capture my profit, right? I need to capture my profit, and that's helping things out on the gold front, right? But you can see it's not major. So yeah, we do have 1, 2, 3. So If we're able to breach through, there is this though today. If we are able to breach through, there is a bit of a racetrack, so we may actually be able to take a run all the way up. But we're going to need to see some major movement pretty quickly. I'm not really relying upon that one. I don't think that makes a lot of sense. Right now, I still like the sellers that are here, and again, I think the writing's on the wall with gold. Silver, silver, we were looking for a push down before we pushed up, and this was really kind of more what we were doing for Sunday night. You can see it drove all the way up, and yesterday morning, we were actually sitting right here. We wanted this to continue farther down. It found those buyers, and we said, "Hey, listen, we got to break through." Looks like at that 2 o'clock time frame, those buyers helped. So we wanted these from here. We were looking to break those guys and come down. We haven't done it yet. We're just sitting a little bit higher. Again, we were sitting right here yesterday, so slightly higher, but have not breached the top. This is starting to again put almost a channel in. It is more consolidation, and I think that's going to be the big question: is what's happening. Um, Again, silver is a little bit more retail trader-ish. We know that right now there's a desync, right? Silver should be double gold in whatever direction it is. Gold is basically not moved. That's 0.17. Silver is at 0.12. Is it going to surge? Should it go up to 0.34? It should technically, if today is going to be a bullish day, it should be double gold. For it to do that, it's going to have to clean through this entire level here, right? And look, it just got front run on the level, so kind of hard. Now, downside. Again, are we going to break much lower here? We have a level here, and we've kind of touched it, so it's kind of a similar thing. In the spike up and down from the open, we've kind of been front run on this basing level. We've been front run on this basing level. And we're sitting smack in the middle, and it's sitting exactly where gold is. So I don't think silver traders actually have any idea what they're going to do with gold for today. Um, I think they're a little bit lost. Right? I think they're a little bit lost. Overall, though, again, my opinion on both gold and silver, I think using them as a hedge in inflation, I think is wrong. I think silver is going to have additional pressure because, again, if China is having issues, it is also an industrial metal, and that could also drive this to the downside. So overall, bearish thinking on silver. But as far as the setup for today on a Friday with no additional news, not a lot there. Just it is what it is, right? Again, if this was Sunday night, it'd be a little bit different, but it's Friday. It's at the end of the week, right? Your European traders are going to be out of the market. Again, the whole rest of the, Australia's out, China's out, India's out, right? London, they're on the way out soon too, right? Germany and London are on the way out soon too. So it's just going to be the U.S. So a lot of the proxies and hedges are all going to disappear. But again, sideways, boxed in, not much you can do. Apple, Apple getting smoked a little bit here. God, it did look at it, all the way over again. I guess Elon is not coming today, right? He was here yesterday. Um, Still have no idea how that happened, guys. If that's a new feature that TradingView is going to do now, but yeah, I love that. Like I click it and it was here, but then I was like, why is it all the way over here? Overall, it's fine. Let's see, VIX. Yeah, there's no news left, so this should start to deteriorate. Dollar looks like it has peaked a little bit again. That profit taking coming in. Everything else is in the red, so it looks like the dollar could be finding some help here. So let's drop this down to 15. Let's see what there was at the open. Looks like there's no zone. So 9:15 was a red, followed by the green at 9:30. No zone, nothing confirmed in the overnight. Unfortunately, we didn't get a push up. Looks like everybody was just kind of on board with this one. Look at this drop. Look at that base, and they just continued lower. Yeah, it looks like just the negativity was locked in today. Again, give us the right candles. It was the right setup, right? The 9:15 was red, followed by the green for the open. That was great. It didn't pull to any type of levels. There's nothing great here to be able to pull off. I mean, it's a shame because it did pop up and hit. It just didn't hit a quality level. So overall, again, this is going to hinge upon a dollar. I don't think we have a major movement. I don't think there's going to be any records broken today as far as movement go, unless there's something that we can't figure out. And even it says right here 8 minutes ago, Wall Street slides as mega gap growth stocks drag on rate jitters. See, still goes back to that rate thing. And my belief is they are going to raise it again. NQ, oh God, look at that. Up and down. 9:15, also red, followed by a green 9:30. Did what it should have. No overnight levels that we can grab. Unfortunate, because it did grab it and then start to continue to drive down. I think this one continues. I think it continues to go down, but was there an entry we could have grabbed? No, there wasn't. And again, with all this chop back and forth, I think a lot of people that at the open were kind of like, oh no, I'm going to go long. Oh, look, it's breaking lows. I'm going to go short, right? That opening bear trap, right? It opened down here, breaking all the lows in the over, and they're like, yep, I'm selling it. And then what did it do? It ran out, stopped everybody out, and then turned around and immediately stopped them all out back to the downside, and then stabilized right back again, right? This one at the open was literally, it was I'm going to short, right? Okay, no, never mind, right? And then it went back up again, and now we're here, and now we're sitting right there. That's literally what the open looks like, right? That's literally right there. So, um, yeah, NQ is just stopping people out left and right. So have fun with that one. But no opening print, and it's a shame because it did come up. It just didn't hit a level again. YM actually had something in there. Red 915 and then 930 was the pop higher. Now this one actually did have a confirmed zone. Um, Kind of sitting right there. And it's an okay zone. Boxing it off the green there. It did actually hit it. So you could actually be short this one. Again, this was a 945. Wasn't necessarily an opening print on this one. Um, but it was the best opportunity for futures traders to really get something decent in there. It looks like it missed the bottom by just a tad, but you're still in it right now. So again, that was the confirmed level in the overnight. The original level was formed at let's see, 430, kind of with that 445. Looks like its confirmation came in at 615. That's what we're looking for. And again, red launching it higher. Again, there wasn't really a buy option here. There's no confirmation of it. And again, I turn and roll. So looks like this one made it actually to a 1 to 2.75. So pretty close to that 1 to 3 that we're looking for. But again, at 10:30, if you're still on this one, again, this is where the reversals come in. So be cautious with it. But again, this was the only one that actually did have any type of grab. And again, you would have taken this yourself out on this one of 1 to 2.5, particularly after a swing like that, knowing the 10:30 reversal was coming in. And again, we expected a reversal on 10:30 if it was straight down. You expect that. So at least there was something there you could have traded. And then Russell, let's see what we got here. Nine red 915, big green up. Confirmation as far as overnight goes would have been up here. It looks like you would have. It ended up tagging that zone, right? It tagged it, went higher, and then started to collapse through. So again, Russell's always a little bit more challenging grabbing those things. Was it the same one? No, it was the late last night one. Their 415 would have been a touch of here. So, I don't know. Maybe you would have tried to snag this one on a number one and got stopped out. You would have been mad because it's much lower than where it is right now. All right. Let's see how quick did it go through. Oh, it based right here. Yeah, so it based right here. Pop and then again red, green, red right here. So, yeah. Again, Russell's always the most challenging for those. Again, as far as opening print goes, it was an extreme low. Again, it was a bear trap situation. God forbid anybody that sold this thing at the open stop that right away. So again, it's whether or not you wanted to go counter trend. It may have actually been a fib. Let's see. Uh, it did. It was a fib. So yeah, it was reaching for the fib right above the supply zone is what it was doing. So actually, there was a zone there. So yeah, maybe you try to get short this one. I honestly, I don't. I would expect again if all the emphasis is going to be put on raising rates, Russell should turn and roll back to the downside as well. It's the strongest right now, but it is still negative. Um, Again, nice pop at the open. Again, easy bear trap. I hope to God none of you guys tried to short this thing at the open. I'll tell you right now, many people did. It was breaking, Globex lows. It's a bear trap. It's the easiest bear trap that exists for a day that's all red, right? Seeing all red, being breaking through the overnight lows, you're like, oh, this is an easy sell. And the second they sold this thing, opening right here, all the way up. A lot of people lost a lot of money very, very quickly today. So yeah. So, all right. So that's it for today. My voice made it through. Not as bad as, again, look at this 77.90 or 79.75. Loving it. Keep breaking down even more. And I did see down here, Bitcoin's back down to 26. So I guess the true stabilization around 29,000 to 30,000. Yeah, sorry. Guess that's not happening. So as that continues to drop lower. All right, let's go ahead and do our giveaway for today. So again, remember, because I missed earlier in the week, today is our second day of 100. Monday, we will resume our normal schedule. Ernest, regardless of what happens today, Ernest will be considered the winner because he was going into Monday with that win. So we will resume that cycling. I will give this one to 230. I always give you guys kind of a true 30 seconds in there. We'll see how it goes. Mm-mm-mm. 10 more seconds. Oh, all right, closing down. All right, winner of today's drawing is wow. Wow. Hmm. So maybe he knows something we don't know, or maybe because I mentioned his name, he won. I don't know how that works. Nura, I have no idea. Maybe it's because I only said his name. Remember the? I don't know. Maybe there's something to the no name thing. I don't know. Right? I was like, oh, I'm gonna hit this. Nura wins. There's no way Nura loses this one today. I'm like, Ernest didn't go in big. Nura's winning it. What? I I don't. I swear. Only thing I can think of, Nura. Only thing I can think of. Yeah, man. I don't know. I have no idea. I have no idea how it works. I don't know. Maybe I'll make up names and see. I probably did. It's probably my fault. Right? It's probably my fault. Like I said, I don't get it. I don't know how it works. I mentioned the name. It's like bam. All right. So with that, guys, I'm out of here. You guys have a wonderful weekend. Everybody, stay not sick. Melissa came back and is sick now, and I'm like, if you come back and get me sick all over again, I'm gonna be mad. So hopefully we're not a whole house of sick people. Hope she's like, yeah, my she's like, it hurts when I swallow. I was like, I've been there. I know what that's like. But supposedly everybody in her family's sick now. So I don't know if Kip brought it back or Jen brought it back, gave it to everybody there, and then Melissa finally caught it or what. But should be fun. So everybody have a great, safe weekend. Nobody gets sick. Enjoy the outdoors while we still can. With that, I'm out of here. Thank you for joining me. I'll be back on 9:30 Eastern Standard Time Monday morning, and I'll catch you then. Take care.